So you've got the promotion and you're desperate to prove yourself to everyone around you. Maybe to your cheerleader because they backed you, or an old colleague who actually thinks that they should have got the promotion, not you. Maybe even your new boss who said, I believe in you in the only way a boss can say it, and still make you cringe. Because here's the thing. The moment you walk into that team trying to prove something, everyone can feel it. And honestly, it does the opposite of what you intended. So today I'm going to give you 3 small moves that could possibly change everything. Welcome to Unshakable Her, the podcast helping women in leadership build the influence, visibility and presence to make promotion inevitable. I'm your host, Caroline Esterson. Let's get started. Here's what's going to make today worth the listen for you. 1, you're going to stop trying to prove you deserve the promotion and start acting like the leader that your team needs. 2, you'll learn a conversation framework that turns awkward situations into opportunities to build trust and credibility. And 3, you'll discover 3 2mm leadership moves that quietly build influence faster than working harder ever will. Before we launch into the details, shall I give you your clues for the song? Here you go. Clue 1. This artist knows more about showing up and putting in the work than almost anyone else on the planet. But this song isn't a celebration of that. Let me tell you a bit more about her. She's a singer, movie star, mother of 3 and billionaire. She has her own fragrances, makeup and lingerie ranges, as well as setting up her own foundation supporting terminally ill children. She really does know a thing or two about focus and work. Clue 2. Running underneath this whole song, there's a frustration. And that frustration is about the effort. The effort's there, but the impact, it's just not landing. Does that sound familiar? And clue 3. Cara's had this on repeat all week without realising it is basically her situation set to a B. What would Cara do? Sometimes you don't need permission, you just need better advice. So let's launch right in with the listener dilemma. This week it's from Nat. She said, I've just been promoted and I'm managing people who are older and more experienced than me. I just don't know how to get them to take me seriously without coming across like I'm trying too hard. What would you do? Okay. Here's what I'd do. First up, I'd stop trying to have authority and start trying to have clarity. Because authority that comes from the role is just temporary and everyone can see through that. Whereas authority that comes from knowing what you think, saying it clearly and following through, well, that's the real deal. And in the meantime, ask more questions to help you get that clarity. Experienced people who feel genuinely heard become your greatest allies. Whereas if they feel talked at or managed, they become your obstacles. You've walked into a team that's full of institutional knowledge that nobody has written down anywhere. In the first month, your job isn't to impress them, it's to understand them well enough that they start believing that you're worth following. So that's what I do. Move fast on the listening, everything else follows through. Right, I've got to share the song with you because I can't wait any longer. This week has been all about effort without impact. And this lends itself beautifully into the song. It's Work by Rihanna. The whole song is about someone doing everything, showing up every day, putting in the graft, but it's still not quite landing. It's about the gap between effort and impact. That's efficiency without effectiveness, and that's Cara's week 1 in a nutshell. And the reason that it's this week's song is that sometimes the most useful thing a track can do is hold up a mirror. You've been working, now let's make it land. Now, I've got a new segment for you today. It's a little bit experimental, so let me know what you think of it. It's called The Unshakable Playbook. Every week, I'm pulling a move from a woman who's refused to play by someone else's rules. Women that we see every day on the TV or in a movie who are handed an impossible situation and found their own way around it. Because the best script writers are showing us the mechanics of power and survival with a clarity that most leadership programs just never seem to manage. And this week, it's a little bit of a fangirl crush moment for me. It's for my ultimate heroine, Beth Dutton from Yellowstone. If you've not watched it, Beth is the daughter of a Montana cattle rancher. She operates as his fixer, and she is a pretty dangerous asset for him. She's consistently underestimated by every man in the room until it's far too late. She's complicated and fierce, and she's not always right, but I love her unconditionally. And here's Beth's move. She never lobbies for authority. She acts as though she already has it and waits for everyone else to catch up. She doesn't ask for a seat at the table. She just sits down and starts talking. Everyone then reorganises themselves around her. She is decided privately before anything else, and that decision is visible in everything that follows. Cara spent her first week trying to earn the right to lead. She prepared the agenda, answered emails, hoped that the team would conclude that she deserved the role. Beth would never try to earn it. She just decides. And here's the thing, the decision comes first, your credibility follows. Now, Cara's version of this is not about Beth's ruthlessness. Cara doesn't need that, and neither do you. What Cara needs is Beth's certainty. That private decision made before anything, that she is the right person for this and she's going to act accordingly. So your move is decide before you walk in anywhere. Now, there's a flip. The certainty doesn't have to be performed. It just has to be felt. Whether it's brief or imperfect, it doesn't matter, but felt before you put your hand on the doorknob. 3 little moves to make you unshakable. Small enough to start Monday, sharp enough to change everything. Now let's see how some of that certainty translates with our quick-fire career moves. You ready? Move 1, have the Dom conversation this week. You don't need a big, heavy conversation here. Actually, can I share a little bit of a bugbear of mine? Consultants talk about things like having fearless conversations, and we need to speak with radical candor. But in doing so, they make even the simplest of conversations feel heavy and difficult. And honestly, I think that stops people just going for it. You don't need a conversation to be perfect. You just need it to be heartfelt and honest. Go and find Dom, not on Teams or by email, but in person or on a call where he can actually hear your voice. And say something like this. Dom, I wanted to check in properly. You know, the way my promotion got communicated, it was far from ideal. And I'm aware you probably heard it in a way that didn't feel great. I'd really like to know how you're feeling about the change. Then stop talking. Don't fill the silence or explain yourself. Certainly don't apologise for getting the job. Just ask and listen to what comes back. This is the move that Cara missed at the start, but it's not too late to make it now. It's never too late. That conversation is always available. And here's the thing, what I actually just gave you is a really simple tool that you can use for any conversation. It's called EEC. Example, effect, continual change. What you observed, what it cost, and what you want instead. So let me give you that as an example that we've just gone through. So you just said in plain English, Dom, the way the promotion was communicated was not ideal. That's the example. You probably heard it in a way that didn't feel great. That's the effect. I'd really like to know how you're feeling about it. That's the continual change. Move 2. Separate your to-do list into 2 columns. Take that list that Cara has, which is probably now at 22 items and growing, and draw a line down the middle of the page. On the left, put all your efficient tasks. Things that need doing, have a clear output and can be completed. Emails, reports, admin, etc. Then on the right, label it effective tasks. Things that build the conditions for the team to function well. That's your new job, isn't it? The Dom conversation, the process analysis, stakeholder conversations, one-to-ones. Cara's been living in the left column. It feels productive because it's black and white and it's measurable. But the right column is where her actual job is. And the rule is simple. Before you open your inbox, do one thing from the right column. That's all. The inbox will still be there when you're finished, but Dom might not be. Move 3. Name your position before the next difficult move. So before your next hard conversation or a moment when you feel the ground is shifting slightly, pause and ask yourself, which position am I in right now? Is it first position, my own perspective only? Second position, have I actually thought about what the other person is experiencing? Or third position, if I stepped back and looked at this from the outside, what would I see? You don't need to do all three in the moment. You just need to notice which one you're defaulting to. Cara defaults to first. Honestly, most people do. The noticing is the first move. Everything else follows. So this week you've had 3 episodes about one woman, about her crack in the identity she spent 5 years building. And here's what Cara knows now that she didn't know on that Friday afternoon when JP shook her hand and said the team were lucky to have her. The discomfort that she feels is not evidence that she's wrong. It's evidence that she's just in new territory. And new territory always feels like this before it feels like home. The team not responding the way she'd hoped isn't about rejection. It's just caution. And caution can be earned from. The 4 minutes in the car, it isn't her being weak. It's probably the smartest thing she did all week to create her transition. From a leadership perspective, she's not yet stepped fully into the role. She's still performing it, which is different. The shift will come when she stops trying to prove she deserves it and starts acting as though she already knows she actually does deserve it. Taking a little bit of breath, right? From an influence perspective, she's not given the team a reason to follow her. She's given them a manager, and they're just not the same thing. The gap between them is where the next few trilogies live. And from a promotion perspective, the people above her, they're not watching her results yet. They're watching how she handles the mess. This is the audition she actually doesn't know she's in. So today you've had 3 moves to carry out of here. The Dom conversation, using EC to make it human and specific rather than vague and loaded. 2-column list, separating out efficiency from effectiveness so you know which column you're working in. And the 3 positions, first, second and third. So that the next difficult moment has a framework under it rather than just a feeling. These are your small moves, done consistently. That's how Cara gets from here to where she's going. And that's how you do too. In the show notes, there's a link to the new Manager 90-Day Action Plan. Remember, this is your roadmap to help you navigate those uncertain times and ensure you stop performing and start being the great leader you want to be. Cara didn't fall apart in week 1. But she didn't knock it out of the park either, did she? She showed up, stayed late, sat in the car for a while, and then she went in and told her partner it was fine before he'd asked. That is exactly what the beginning of something really looks like. And we'll be back with her on Monday. Cara's story continues. So that's it from me this week. Before you go, if something this week made you nod, laugh, or think, finally someone said it, leave a rating wherever you're listening. Just a couple of taps, that's all it takes. And it helps other women just like you who are spiraling and searching for help to find this show. I'm Caroline Esterson. You came here for career advice, but what you're really building, week by week, move by move, is someone no one can shake. See you Monday.